What was the craziest thing your grandparents left for you in their will? The lawyer walked into the room carrying 3 envelopes. My cousins and I were already sitting there waiting. Nobody was talking. The tension was unbearable. He opened the first envelope and looked at my cousin. Your grandparents have left you the beach house. My cousin nearly fell out of her chair. The second envelope went to my other cousin. A portfolio of investments worth several $1,000,000. His eyes got so wide I thought he was going to pass out. Then the lawyer turned toward me. I straightened up. My grandparents and I had been inseparable. I spent almost every weekend at their house growing up. Surely they had left me something meaningful. The lawyer slowly slid a small wooden token across the table. That was it. A round piece of wood no bigger than a poker chip. Everyone stared at it. Then my cousin started laughing. I picked it up. Burned into the center were 3 words. Start at 0. Is this a joke? I asked. The lawyer shook his head. It's exactly what they instructed me to give you. That was all he would say. For a week the token sat on my kitchen table. I couldn't stop thinking about it. Start at 0. What did that even mean? Then one night I remembered something. When I was little, my grandfather used to take me on long drives. Every time we passed mile marker 0 on an old highway outside town, he'd smile and say, "Everything important starts here." The memory hit me so hard I almost dropped the token. The next morning I drove straight there. The highway was mostly abandoned now. Just weeds, cracked pavement, and an old maintenance shed nearby. I walked around for almost an hour before noticing something carved into the back wall. A small circle. The exact same symbol from the wooden token. My pulse started racing. Behind a loose concrete block was a metal box. Inside was a key and a note. Just one sentence. "You found the first door." At that point I knew my grandparents had planned all of this. The key led to a storage facility 2 states away. I drove there the next day. The manager checked my paperwork and looked genuinely confused. Then he said something I'll never forget. "Nobody's been inside this unit for over 30 years." 30 years. The door rolled open. Inside wasn't treasure. It wasn't gold. It wasn't cash. It was paperwork. Thousands of pages stacked in filing cabinets. I almost laughed. After everything, I'd inherited paperwork. Then I started reading, and my hands began to shake. My grandfather had quietly started buying tiny pieces of land all over the country decades ago. Most of it was worthless at the time. Desert, farmland, empty lots, places nobody wanted. But over the years, cities expanded. Highways were built. Developers moved in. The land exploded in value. I spent 3 days going through the documents. When I finally met with the attorney handling the properties, I thought he'd made a mistake. I asked him to repeat the number 3 times. He did. The portfolio wasn't worth millions. It was worth over $300 million. I couldn't even process it. Then the attorney handed me one final envelope, a letter from my grandparents. It said, "Your cousins inherited what we had. You inherited what we believed in." Then there was one last sentence. The sentence that completely broke me. "We chose you because you were the only one who never asked what we'd leave behind. You only cared about spending time with us." I sat there staring at those words for nearly an hour. The money changed my life, but knowing why they chose me, that was the real inheritance.